Hey everyone, and welcome to Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Today we're going to be continuing part 3 of the video series doing a crochet kit that I got from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are continuing part 3 of this video series. We are doing Elphaba from the movie Wicked. It's a crochet kit made by Innovative Designs LLC. What can I say about this kit? Well, so far so good. I've had a number of innovative design kits for Halloween, and don't mind this, I'm trying to focus. But anyway, and those kits were horrendous. So far the Wicked kits that I got are wonderful, actually. And I did run out of material for Glinda, but not as much as I did with the Halloween kits. So far so good with Elphaba, but we'll see because there's a lot of black on here. Anyway, for today's video, we are going to be continuing making the arms, hair, and hat. We already completed the feet, the legs, the body, the head, and the skirt. This video is a supplement to the kit. So if you would like to make this kit, I highly recommend that you go to your local Five Below or on their website. They have those kits there, and get the kits, because I only show how to do stitches, new stitches 3 times step by step, and then I also explain how to read the instructions. I don't go into specifics with the instructions due to copyright, so I won't be able to share that with you, and I highly recommend that any viewers don't share that information as well in the comments, because you don't want to get in trouble for copyright infringement. Alright, so if you would like to speed up or slow down this video, go ahead and click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talk, go ahead and click on the CC closed caption button and lower the volume on your device. So let's get started. Here is Elphaba. We're going to set her aside for now because we're going to be making the arms, and we're going to start off with the green yarn, and we're going to be making a magic ring. So I have been asked in the past, is the magic ring necessary? It is. I feel that the magic ring is the best way to make a circle without having the hole in the middle. If you do it the chain link way, you just have to make sure that that chain is going to be tight as heck, because then you will have a hole in it. If not, you'll have to sew that hole closed later. So I don't think it's the neatest way. I do think that the magic ring is the best way. There may be other ways. I only do what I know. I don't know everything, so feel free to go do it however you want to do it. Alright, so let's do the magic ring. We're going to wrap this yarn 3 times around your finger with a little bit of overage so that you can put your middle finger right on it. Then from here you can take the 3 strands and straighten them out, tighten them up if you need to. But we're going to go and stick our hook underneath these 3 strands. Then I'm going to pull the hook back, but I'm going to hook this strand and I'm going to pull it underneath these 2. So hook it, turn your hook to the side, and then slip it underneath the 2 strands. You turn your hook to the side so you don't accidentally hook the other strands. But from this point we're going to yarn over, and yarning over is taking your feeder yarn and putting it over your hook like this. Alright, so from here we're going to take this strand and we're going to pull it through this loop. So do that now. So now you have something like this. You can let go of your middle finger, slip the rings off your index, and then we're going to start the first set of instructions, which is doing a bunch of single crochet stitches. So let's do a single crochet stitch. To do one, stick your hook into the magic rings. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop so that there's 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So you have your first single crochet stitch. Let's take a look at this. When you look on the top, it looks like a little braid. You have a loop here and a loop there. If you look straight at your project, the loop becomes, this loop becomes the front loop and this loop becomes the back loop. So let's do this again. Stick your hook into the magic rings, yarn over and pull up a loop so that you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches. Turn it to the top. You see that you still have your braid there. I don't know why the focus is just acting like this right now. And then if you look straight onto the front of your project, this is the front loop and this is the back loop. One more time with you guys. Stick your hook into the magic rings, yarn over and pull up a loop so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So now we have 3 single crochet stitches. You look at the top, it looks like a braid. If you look at it, your project front side, this is the front loop and this is the back loop. So now I'm going to go ahead and continue with the remaining single crochet stitches that you need on your magic ring. You can rewind this video as many times as you need until you're confident into doing single crochet stitches by yourself. But I'm going to do this and then we're going to come back in and I'm going to show you what to do next. Alright, so I'm going to overhand my hook like this. You can let go of this feeder yarn. I want you to grab the bottom stitches of this magic ring. Don't hold it too tight, otherwise nothing is going to move. So hold it, and then I want you to gently pull this excess piece. What we're looking for is to see which one of these 2 loops is going to move first. So pull that excess piece slowly. Right, and then once you've identified which loop is going in first, this is the loop that we're going to focus on. What you want to do is pull the bottom part out of this loop. Don't pull it from this side, pull it from this side. So go ahead, take this loop, pull the lower half out, and you're going to see the other loop start to go in. And that's exactly what you want. Keep pulling until that other loop is completely gone into your magic ring. And once you've done that, you can then pick this excess piece and pull that so that this loop goes in. So pull this excess piece like that till it disappears. Now, to make sure that this hole is completely closed, because now there's just a little tiny hole, what we're going to do is pull in the opposite direction and a little bit up, and you can feel a little bit move. You want to pull that just enough till you can't anymore. You don't have to pull too hard, but see, now that hole is completely gone. So what we're going to do now, what's not included in this kit, is you want to get some of these stitch markers. These stitch markers are going to help you keep track of what round you're on and help you keep count of your stitches. And what you want to do is take the pointy end of this stitch marker and you want to place it under that braid of the last stitch we made. So I'm just going to pull this out for a second so you can better see this. But here's your magic ring. This is the last stitch we made. You want to slip this just under the braid. So you want to slip it under that front loop and the back loop. And you want to make sure you don't accidentally pierce the yarn. To see if you do that, just pull on this. If you can see a nice clear passage, that means you're good. See, There's no yarn wrapped around that stitch marker, so we didn't pierce anything. We can close this up and then we can start our next round. Alright, so for our next round, this is going to be for rounds 2 and 3. And these stitch markers are helpful because this will indicate round 2. This one is going to indicate round 3. So I know that I have to use both of these stitch markers for the next instructions. And this is where it's going to get a little tight because we're working with single crochet stitches. So right now it's really tiny and it's just going to get longer. So what you want to do from this point is count the number of stitches required from the previous round. So when you read these instructions, there's 1 colon, that means round 1. Then you have a set of instructions in numbers and letters, that's your set of instructions. Then in brackets at the very end of the instruction is the number of stitches that you're supposed to have at the end of that round. So count back the number of stitches that at the end of that first round, and then what we're going to do is stick the hook into that last stitch and we're going to start round 2. So for round 2 is fairly simple. We're all going to do single crochet stitches, and that's it. And we're going to do that for round 3, so let's do this. So again, you can always go back in the video until you're comfortable doing single crochet stitches on your own, but I did show you 3 times step by step, and then I'm just going to continue doing this at my own pace. You can pause the video, slow down the video, like I said, using the gear button, but we're going to be working through this. Alright, so you'll know when you're at your last stitch because that's where your marker is. So you can leave the marker in there, especially when you're keeping track of your rounds. All you have to do is just stick your hook in with the same marker and you're good. And then you can finish your last single crochet stitch. And then as you see, it's naturally curling in. I want to do a couple more rounds before I flip it inside out, because right now we're facing the wrong side of the arm. You can tell because this excess piece is just flapping in the wind, and it's curling really harshly. So we'll flip that inside out like I said. So what we're going to do here is put our stitch marker under the last stitch we made. So right here under the front and back loop, you can tell if you cleared it if you pull, and you can see a nice clean passage through. Then you can close your stitch marker, and we just have to do this one more time. So let's go ahead and do our single crochet stitches. And when it's this small as well, it's really hard to see what you're doing. Alright, so before I finish this last single crochet stitch from round 3, it says that we have to change to black. So let me show you how to do that. So we still have this last stitch left to do. I'm just going to remove the feeder yarn. I'm going to stretch this stitch out very long so that I don't lose any stitches. I can set this aside. I'm going to pick up the black. Now I'm going to show you how to cast on with the slip knot. What you want to do is take your pinky ring and thumb and hold the end of the yarn Then you want to take your index and middle finger and hold it apart like this. Then we're going to take the hook and you lie it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around to make a loop around the hook. We can slide the hook up and down like this. Slide it down towards your thumb. Take your middle finger on your right hand and just hold it where it crosses, because we're going to let go of our left hand and we're going to gather up some feeder yarn. Then what we're going to do is re-pinch the end here, get closer to the end, and then you want to slide your hook further down towards your thumb, and where it crosses just pinch with your thumb and middle finger. Then what we're going to do is yarn over and we're going to pull this through the loop. Then I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to re-pinch this end and I'm going to push this knot towards the thumb. Okay, so keep pushing till either the knot is too tight and you can't push it anymore, or till you're butt up against your thumb. And then what you can do is take your thumb and middle finger and just pull out that excess piece, just so you can tighten up this knot a little bit more. You don't have to go too crazy, but this is going to eliminate the amount of waste. So this piece of yarn is our waste. If it was longer, that's how much you would waste. But you really want to try to minimize the waste, because we don't know if this material is going to be enough for the project. So grab your knot and slide it up towards your hook. You want to leave a little bit of space here. We're going to slide this off the hook and we're going to place this down for later. Then you want to grab your project here and stick your hook back into that large loop. Then to make it smaller, you just have to pull on the feeder yarn until that loop gets smaller. Okay, so now we're going to do our last single crochet stitch. So let's go about it with the green. You're going to stick your hook into that last stitch where your marker is, and we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up the loops. Now we have 2 loops. Let's let go of the feeder yarn, and then we're going to hold the feeder yarn back with our ring finger. You could just hold it up against your middle, get it out of the way. Then we're going to take our black yarn and we're going to slip that right over our hook, gather up some feeder yarn, and then we're going to finish our single crochet stitch. So pull this through both loops. Oops, my hook came out. Don't do that. Okay. And so now we've finished our single crochet stitch, but we transitioned seamlessly to the black. So what we're going to do, because we don't need the green anymore, we're going to cut this about 1 inch or so. And then we're just going to tie this around that excess piece 2 times so that we can secure the green stitches. You don't need to tie it too tight, but I do like to tie it 2 times. All right, so this is curling in, but we'll flip it later. I just want to do a few more rows. So let's take out our stitch markers, and I'm going to place this one though under the last stitch we made, which is right here. Okay, check it to see if you're not piercing the yarn, and we're going to move on to round 4. So for round 4, we are doing something new. We're going to be using the back loops only. So in the beginning, when I showed you the anatomy of a single crochet stitch, I showed you that the braid has 2 loops. So as you see here, we have our braid. Here's the front loop, here's the back loop. So we are going to be using the back loop only. Alright, so we're going to be doing single crochet stitches using back loop only. Here's a braid. Here's the front loop. Here's the back loop. You want to stick your hook into that back loop. So if you look closer, the front loop is just sitting there, and then your hook is only in the back loop. So from here, we're going to do our single crochet stitch. Alright. Then we're going to do the same thing. Now this is curling in, so try to like manipulate your arm so that you can see your stitches. So here's the next one. Here's the front loop and here's the back loop. We're going to put our hook, this is why I don't like working with tiny objects. Okay, we're going to stick our hook into the back loop only, and then we're going to do our single crochet stitch. All right, one more time with you guys. Manipulate your project so you can see clearly your next stitch. Here's the front loop, here's the back loop. Stick your hook into the back loop and do another single crochet stitch. Alright, so rewind this video as many times as you need to get confident at doing a single crochet stitch using the back loop only. But I'm going to go and continue all the way around, and then we're going to move on to the next steps. I think maybe now I can flip this arm inside out so that we're facing the right side out. And tuck in all of these extra green excess pieces. I'm going to replace the marker underneath the last stitch we made, and this is a darker yarn now, so it's going to be harder to see in the camera, so just try to look at your project. But for now, here I am with this. I'm going to try flipping it inside out and see if I can tuck everything in here. To be honest, you know what? Let's do one more round before I do. So here indicates round 5, round 6, round 7, round 8. So they're all the same instructions, and all we have to do is make sure we use up the markers. So I'm actually going to do one more round just because I don't think it's going to be deep enough to hide all of this. You can cut it short, but if it contributes to stuffing, which is material, why not, you know? Because you don't want to waste your material. Just keep your eyes open, make sure you're sticking your yarn just under the braid, under every stitch that you made previously. And it's always going to be hard like this. I've worked on some Dollar Tree kits, and they've done similar things to where this is just really tiny, and I'm like, really? Seriously, who do you think is making these Keebler elves? Like, you know, it's just like, who has the tiniest hands to be comfortable doing this right now? So, just be patient with yourself. You can do this. Alright, so before I move on ahead and put on another marker, I'm just going to start flipping this inside out. So what do you have to do? It's like a sock. You just fold out the edges and then push in the middle till it's flipped inside out. And that did take a little bit of oomph, so you know, don't worry about it. But here now we can take the excess green and just shove that down in there. You want to get it as low as possible so that it's not in your way for the next rounds, like that. So don't worry about being rough with it. It'll bounce back. But we can set aside this green now since we won't be using it. But now I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to mark the last stitch we made just under the braid. Check to see if it's clear and not splitting any yarn. Alright, and then we're doing the same stitches. So let me just do this in silence, but we're just doing single crochet stitches until all these markers are used. Alright, so we completed round 5 through 8, and then we're going to do round 9, which is introducing a new stitch, and that new stitch is called an increasing stitch. To do that, it's basically putting 2 single crochet stitches in a stitch. So put your hook into the next stitch here, and like I said, we're going to be doing 2 single crochet stitches in this stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Then you're going to stick your hook into that same stitch we just used, and we're going to do another single crochet stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So I don't know if you can see this, but here's that stitch, and out comes 2 single crochet stitches. So let's do this again. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 1. Stick your hook into that same stitch that we just used. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So you have 2 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So again, 1 single crochet stitch, out comes 2 single crochet stitches. So let's do this one more time with you guys. Into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then go into that same stitch you just used. We're going to do another one. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now you can rewind this part and watch as many times as you need until you get comfortable doing these increasing stitches by yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them. So when you do increasing stitches, you're pretty much doubling the stitch count. Alright, so now I can remove my marker, put it under the last stitch we made. And so for round 10 and 11, we're going to do single crochet stitches all the way around. Alright, so now I'm just going to remove my marker, put it under the last stitch we made, remove the other one as well. Alright, so now for round 12, we are going to be doing a new stitch, and this one is called a decreasing stitch. Now it says to stuff after this round, but as you see here, we have a wonderful opportunity to fill what we have here, because it's only going to get harder. So I would just start putting a little bit of stuffing into the sleeve, and we're only putting it in the sleeve, we're not putting it in the arm. So I'm just tucking away the frizzy parts so that I don't accidentally crochet into it. Alright, so let's learn about the decreasing stitch. So it's pretty much the opposite of an increasing stitch. A decreasing stitch turns 2 single crochet stitches into 1. So let me show you how to do that. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop so that you have 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop so that you have 3 loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So we took 2 single crochet stitches and we only have 1. Alright. next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then into the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. And then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So 2 single crochet stitches we made into 1. Let's do one more, you guys. So stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, so you have 2 loops. Into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop so that you have three loops on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So we took 2 stitches and we have 1. So I'm just going to continue this all the way around. You can rewind this video as many times as you need until you get confident in making these decreasing stitches on your own. But let's get the rest of this round done. Then I can show you what to do next. All right. Take the marker, put it under the last stitch we made. Wait, I think that was the last round. Oh, that was the last round, so just take out the marker altogether. So now it says to put a little stuffing, but let's try to fasten this off. So what we're going to need is some length of yarn to sew. So this is my little trick. Whenever you have a cavity like this and we have to sew it to the body or sew it wherever you're sewing it, and it doesn't tell you how much length you need, what you want to do is generously wrap around that hole 2 times, okay, like that, and then we're just going to cut this off. So you're going to be left with this amount of yarn to do sewing, whatever it is you need to do. But let's fasten this off. To that, you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through the loop and you're going to pull all the way out. Then we're going to pull on this excess piece and tighten up that loop so that it turns into a knot. And then you're going to take the plastic needle that is in this kit, thread it up, and it says a lot of jargon that I honestly don't understand, but I figure it out. All right, I'm just gonna get a little bit more and we're just gonna fill this sleeve. We just have to make a puffy sleeve like her dress is in the movie. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie or the show on Broadway. I don't know if it's the same, but the sleeve has some sort of puffiness to it. Okay, let's just leave it at that. All right, so what I'm going to do is you can faintly see the number of rows. So I'm going to take my needle, we're going to pass this row, and we're going to pass this row and stick our needle into that second row from the knot, right? And then we're going to pull this out. What you want to do is weave the needle in and out of that row. So go in between the stitches. So every other stitch you're going to stick in your needle and we're going to thread this long piece of yarn in and out of that round until you get to the other side. And I'm going to explain why we're doing what we're doing. Once you get to the other side, we're going to pull on it. Just make sure that your stuffing is tucked in there. You don't want it sticking out from this pull. So now we can pull this as tight as we want. So pull it closed because it makes a more defined sleeve. All right, so pull it till you can't pull it no more, but don't pull it too hard. You want to take this opportunity now and make a knot. I'm not a sewer. I don't know how to tie knots properly, but I do some sort of like French knot by just pulling it through a stitch like I just did. We have this loop. I'm going to go in it once. You can do it more than once. I'm just going to do it once and pull very tightly to secure that knot, because I'm going to then go inside the sleeve and come up from the inside so that we can sew it later. Alright, so we're going to be sewing this part to the body. Now, you're going to be doing the second arm, so I would rewind the video from here. I did create the second arm off camera, and this is what we have. So I have that ready to go. We're going to move on to the hair. So pause this video or whatever you need to do. But we're going to go move on. We're going to do the hair, and we're going to be using the, of course, black yarn. And we're going to do another magic ring. I'm going to show you guys how to do this again. Let's see. So we're going to take the yarn and wrap it around our finger 3 times with a little bit of overage so we can put our middle finger on top just like this. You can straighten out your strands, tighten them up if you need to, but I'm going to grab my hook and slip it under the 3 strands. Then I'm going to take the hook and drag this strand underneath these 2. So hook the yarn, turn your hook to the side, and then slip it underneath the 2 strands, and then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop, and then you're going to let go of your middle finger and slip this off your index. Alright, so now we're going to do our single crochet stitches. So put in the number of single crochet stitches that the instructions require. And then I'm going to show you guys what to do next and how to close the magic ring. Alright, so we're going to let go of this feeder yarn here. We're going to hold the bottom stitches here very gently so that we're able to pull on this excess piece and things won't get stuck. I'm going to take this feeder yarn, use your middle finger. I'm just going to hold it back and out of the way. So let's pull this and see which loop is going to go in first. When you pull it slowly and you see one move, you can stop pulling. This one went in first. You want to pull this side out, not this side, this side. So pull that side out. You're going to see the other loop go in. You want to pull until that loop is completely gone into the magic ring, and then we're going to pull this excess piece and watch this one go in. Okay, then we're going to pull in the opposite direction a little up. We're going to pull that. You're going to feel a little give, and then that's it. You don't have to pull really hard. But we're going to move on to the next round, and we're going to be doing increasing stitches. So do those all the way around. I'm putting my marker under the last stitch we made. You want to count back your stitches required for round 1. And we're going to slip our hook into that stitch, that last stitch there. And then we're going to start our increasing stitches. And then you can remove this marker, slip it under the last stitch we made. We're going to move on to round 3. We have a set of parentheses, and we are going to be alternating single crochet stitches with an increasing stitch. And I got a little tangle here, so I'm just gonna try to detangle this. I might have to pause the camera. Oh, maybe not. All right, let me just gather up some yarn here. And then we're gonna continue round 3. So I don't know how far we can get with this. The hair has a lot of strands that we're gonna have to work with, and the hat has many rows, so that'll be insane if I have to do a part 4 video. Okay, so let's do round 3, repeating this parenthesis. All right, replace the stitch marker, and then we're going to do round 4. So round 4 looks a little bit much. So in these cases, it's easier to break them down into sections so it's not too overwhelming. So we have a bunch of commas here. We're going to use those commas as our sections. We have single crochet stitches, increasing stitches. We have a set of parentheses, alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches, times the number that it wants you to do it. Then we're going to end with the single crochet stitch, and then in those brackets, that's how many stitches you're supposed to end up with. So it sounds like a lot when you say it all at once, but just focus on the comma section. So let's do our single crochet stitches. And then let's do our increasing stitches. And then we're going to do our parentheses set. You can always use stitch markers to keep track of your parentheses. So each time you finish one or start one, you can put in a stitch marker. That way you can count each one to see how many you've done so far. And that will be more accurate than trying to just, you know, try to keep count. You might lose count. You know, I do that all the time. But in saying that, I'm totally going to do it the hard way. And, and I'm going to just keep it in my head. another way to go about this is that when you see the last part that we're doing, it's only a single crochet stitch, so you can kind of figure out when you can't do anymore because you're not going to have any more stitches to do anymore. So, all right, once I've got that done, I'm going to replace the stitch marker, and then we're going to do the strands. So there's a lot of them, and we're going to attempt to do this. Okay, so, oh, here's the fun part. We've got strands 1 through 15 of a certain length. Then we have strands 16 through 19 a certain length. Then strands 20 through 24 a certain length. Oh my Lanta beans. All right, so we need stitch markers. So this is going to indicate strand 1. And I'm not going to use them to attach. I'm going to use them more as like a tick. Like if you had a pencil and paper, you can write a tick down to keep track. Because it's going to be too many of these things on here. And it's going to, you know, because we're doing it per stitch, you're going to get lost in them. But I'm going to use these to keep track of the count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, okay. And then this stuff you want to keep way out of the way. You don't want to accidentally mix it up with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. So as I complete these, as I complete these, I'll keep this one on here, but the next ones, the next strand that I do, I'll just put it away back into the bag. So that's how I know that I've used up all of them. All right, so let's do this first bit. We have to do chain stitches, and I don't believe we've done any yet of the chain stitches. So let me show you how to do that. It's the most basic, really basic stitch in crocheting. And all it is a yarn over, and you pull this strand through the loop, and that's it. You have 3 loops in a chain stitch. You have one here, one here. You turn it on its side, and you can see the back one right there. So let's do another one. Yarn over and pull through the loop. So now we have 2. We have 3 loops. One here, turn it on its side, and you have the one back here. All right, let's do one more with you guys. Yarn over, pull up a loop. So now we have 3 chain stitches. It comes with 3 loops, one here, turn it on its side, and one in the back. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the rest of the chain stitches. Feel free to rewind this video as many times as you need until you get comfortable doing the chain stitches on your own, but I'm going to get this done now. All right, so now that I have all those chains done, we are now going to be doing single crochet stitches. And to do this, we have to develop the height of this row first. So how you do that? Well, for a single crochet stitch, the chain size is 1. So it tells you in the second chain from hook, start your single crochet stitch. So when you look at your hook and you see all these braids, count the second chain from the hook. Here's 1, here's 2. So we're going to be sticking our hook into this second chain from the hook. And that first chain is going to create the height so that it doesn't spiral, it doesn't squish, it makes a straight line going up, and then you do your single crochet stitch going across, if that makes any sense. So second chain from hook, we're going to put our hook into the back loop. So this whole time I showed you that the chain stitch consists of 3 loops. You have a loop here, a loop here, you turn it on its side, and you have a loop in the back. Now I like to put my hook into the back stitch because then your braid that you see here, it gets left untouched, which means it gets to stay this pretty. Normally, the way that I learned, the standard way of putting it, is just putting it through this loop here. If you're looking at it this way, this would be the front loop, this would be the back loop. You would just put it in the back loop only. But then it kind of messes up your braid. And I don't, it looks fine. I just would like it to look better. So, second chain from hook, stick your hook into the back loop only. So, all you do is turn your braid sideways. You see that little hump, and you put it in there. Like that. So, if we see it this way, here's the back hump, flip it upside down, here's the braid. All we did was just go underneath the braid. And then we can do our single crochet stitch. Alright, and you can definitely see it later, but this first stitch here, we have our top braid, but if you look at the bottom, we have our braid here as well. So let's do another. Into the next stitch, put in your hook into the back loop, so you can turn your braid to your side, stick it into that back loop, and we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So again, here's the top stitches, you flip it upside down, and you have that same number of stitches. Alright, let's do this one more time, you guys. Into the next stitch, put your hook into the back loop, so turn it on its side, and stick it into this back loop. Then we're going to do our single crochet stitch. So now that this is longer, you can kind of see it. We have our 3 single crochet stitches, flip it upside down, and you can see that nice braid we still have intact. Okay, so now I'm just going to finish the rest of the single crochet stitches required, and then we're introduced to a new stitch that I don't think we've done yet. So let's do this. Okay, so now that we've reached the number of single crochet stitches that we need, let me show you guys how to do a slip stitch. So into the next stitch here, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all loops off your hook. So it's as simple as that. Now for time purposes, because I did Glinda's hair and Glinda's hair took up a good chunk of the video. So this is what I propose. I'm going to do the rest through 15. I'm going to pop back in and I'll show you how to do I'm going to do 16. I don't need to show it to you. It's the same thing, just different number of chains. But this should definitely take a good chunk off because we still have to do the hat and we have to sew it all together. So let me hop off here, rewind this part as many times as the instructions set for rounds 1 through 15, and then we'll come back in for round 16 and you can see me do that one. And again, we'll I'll do the rest off camera till 19 and then we'll come back in and I'll show you how to do the 20 and then finish through 24 off camera. And then I can show you how to fasten off. Alright, so I have completed the 15 strands of hair. And I probably got my spool of yarn about halfway down. We're going to move on to the next steps. We have 16 through 19, so 16, 17, 18, 19. So we're just going to do 4 more strands for this part, and this is going to be a shorter strand. So what we're going to do first is gather up some feeder yarn. Okay, and then I'm going to do my chain stitches. So go on ahead and do the number of chain stitches that the instructions are asking you to do. All right. So now again it says second chain from the hook. We're going to do single crochet stitches. It tells you the number of crochet stitches, and again we're going to do a slip stitch. This time it actually has parentheses around the number of stitches you should have in the end. They should probably be more consistent about that, but I'm going to go on ahead and do my single crochet stitches for the first strand here, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera. This is just to show you show me doing the shorter strands, so you have an idea of what it's looking like. But this is, I think, more than half of the last strand, so Okay, and just to double check, I'm just going to count my single crochet stitches to make sure that I have all of them on there, and then we're going to do the slip stitch. So we're going to go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to take one of these markers and move it aside. So now we're going to be on 17, and then we have 18, 19 left. When we come back in, I'm going to have all of these done, and we're going to go do 20 through 24. All right, I finished the 4 shorter rows. I'm guessing these are going to be for the front of the face. And then we're going to do 20 through 24, so 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, or we have, you can see here, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So however you want to go about it. But this one is pretty much going to be the same length as what we started out with. So I'm going to actually just do that off camera. We're going to come back on and I'm going to show you how to finish off, and then we're going to jump on over to doing the hat. Alright, so I finished around the 24th strand, and we're going to do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to show you how to fasten off. So into the last stitch here, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through all the loops off your hook. You can remove this stitch marker. Alright, so now we have to fasten off. Now, like I did with Glinda, I want you to hide the yarn, but I'm going to make myself a long tail so that I can use it to sew. And how I do that again is I go around the perimeter of where I'm going to sew 2 times generously. Then I'm going to cut this off, and we're going to fasten this off. So yarn over and pull through the loop all the way out. Then we're going to tighten this up. Then we're going to use this to sew onto the head. So let's set this aside for now. All right. We have the last bit, you guys. Cannot wait. All right, so we have the hat left to go. We're gonna do a magic ring, and oh my goodness, we are doing a slightly smaller ring than we have before. So again, last time, we're gonna wrap this around your finger 3 times with a little bit of overage so you can put your middle finger on there. Then you're going to straighten out your yarn, and we're going to slip the crochet hook underneath the 3 strands. We're going to pull this back out, dragging this strand underneath these 2. So hook it, turn your hook to the side, and then pull underneath the 2 strands there. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull this through the loop. And then we're going to let go of the middle finger and slip the rings off your index. Alright, so now we're going to do our single crochet stitches on here. So go ahead and do that. Alright, and then what we're going to do is overhand the hook. We're going to gently hold the stitches down here. Set your feeder yarn aside. You can use your middle finger to get it out of the way. We're going to pull on this excess piece, and we're going to see which loop goes in first. Once you've identified which loop goes in first, you can stop pulling. Right? So this one is going in first. I'm going to pull this side out. So pull that until the other loop disappears. Okay, then I'm going to take this excess piece and pull it so then this loop can go away. Just to tighten that up a little bit more, I'm going to pull in the opposite direction and up, and now your hole is completely gone. Let's take a stitch marker and put it under the last stitch we made. Alright, and then I'm going to count the number of stitches required for this round, and then once I get to the last stitch, I'm going to put in my crochet hook. It's going to take a little bit because after the first round it's always a little difficult. Alright, so for round 2 we are going to be doing increasing stitches and single crochet stitches, so let's do that now. Alright, and then I'm going to replace the stitch marker. Okay, so then for round 3 we have a set of parentheses. We're going to alternate single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. So into the next stitch, alright, I'm going to take the stitch marker, put it under the last stitch we made, and then we're going to do round 4. So we have another set of parentheses, and we're alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. Alright, replace your stitch marker. So my project is curling in a little bit more than I like, so I'm just going to flip this inside out. And then we can stick, curl up this excess piece into the project there. Try to get it deep in there so you don't accidentally crochet into it. But we're going to do round 5. Now round 5 is pretty straightforward. We have just single crochet stitches to do. Okay, replace the marker under the last stitch we made, and we're going to do round 6, and we're going to alternate single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. All right, place the marker. For round 7, we're going to be doing single crochet stitches all the way around. All right, replace your stitch marker. And then we're going to do round 8. For round 8, we're going to be alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. Remove the stitch marker, replace it under the last stitch we made. And then we're going to do round 9, which is single crochet stitches. replace the last stitch we made. And we're going to do round 10, which is alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. Alright, so for round 11, we're going to do single crochet stitches. Place the marker. Right, then we're going to do alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. Place a stitch marker. All right, so for round 13, we're doing single crochet stitches. We are almost there, you guys. I wonder if this is gonna have a brim. I didn't really look into the box again to see, but so for round 13, we're doing single crochet stitches. Place your stitch marker to the last stitch we made. Alright, so now for round 14, it's a little lengthy. We're going to take it in sections. We've got single crochet stitches, increasing stitches. We got a set of parentheses of alternating single crochet stitches and increasing stitches, times the number of times it tells you to, and then we're going to finish off with a single crochet stitch. Ooh. So yeah, like we did before, let's just take this section by section. Hope we have enough black. All right, replace the marker to the last stitch you made. All right, round 15. So we have a set of parentheses and it's alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. Place the marker under the last stitch we made, and it looks like the brim is forming itself, so that's good. We have 16, 17, and 18 left to go. Will this yarn last? Probably not. So we'll see. All right. So we have a long one for round 16. We have single crochet stitches, increasing stitches. We have a set of parentheses. We have times the number it tells you, and then we're going to end in single crochet stitches. Wow, I honestly don't think we're gonna have enough yarn. replace the marker. Round 17. I'm going to see if this remaining yarn will be enough. If not, I'm going to undo it and just finish off at round 16, but I'm definitely not going to have enough for round 18. So comment below, you guys, let me know if you ran out of yarn. I could add my own black, but I know for sure the gauge is different, so it's going to look oddly different from the rest. And because this is such a big hat anyway, I'm just going to finish it off if I can't, if I run out. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Like, I won't undo the whole round. I'll just finish off wherever it is. But for round 7, we are alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. All right, let me see here. I just want to make sure that I have enough yarn to sew around. Alright, so I'm just going to stop here. I don't have enough to finish round 17, but this is already a big hat, so to fasten off, we're going to yarn over. I'm going to pull through the loop all the way out. And I left a long tail because we have to sew the hat to the head. Now, let us get into this. We did the eyebrows, we did the nose, and now we have to sew the arms. So take an arm, and it just says sew it to the sides of the body. And it's going to be impossible to see in the photo where they did that because it's all black. So let's take a look at this. This looks like it does want to be a right arm, so we can I think it'd be good to just like sew it straight onto there, not sew it around, because then we're gonna have arms that don't go down. We're just gonna sew it like flat onto the body. So just make sure it's on the side. All right. And then we're gonna I'm going to try to get into that second row so I have some frilly ends here. And try to pull it tight so that you close the arm. Okay. Then I can find my moment to tie my knot. And then I'm going to come in one end, come out randomly the other, pull it all the way through, and then we're going to just trim this. Squish the body to hide that little piece, and then we're going to do the other arm. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing. Just want to make this fit in there. go on one side, randomly out the other, pull it, and then cut it flush. Okay, so now we have both arms on. It's starting to look like her. Alright, then after that it says glue the hair. Or we can sew it, and that's what I'm going to do. So we have this long piece here that we saved. We're going to thread this up. Now what I'm going to do is just weave this into a spot inward more, so that we're not right on the edge there. But now what we have to do is find those little pieces, because those need to go on the center of the face, and there's 4 of them. So now we can kind of see where it needs to be split in the middle. Alright, so now where is this? This, what we could do is take your stitch marker. How about that? Yeah, let's do that. So here's the middle. I'm gonna pin the middle of the head to the middle of these bangs here and close it. Okay, so we know where we're at with that, because this is on the other side. So we're just going to go around the head now. With the hair. These strands are getting caught. Tuck in that excess piece from the magic ring. Okay, I'm going to remove this marker. Alright, so once we're all the way around, I'm going to find a moment to tie my knot. Okay, and then go in one end and out randomly another end. Pull it all the way through. We're going to cut it flush, and then you can squeeze to get that piece hidden. Alright, so now we have the hair. It's a little crazy right now. Needs a little combing. Okay. All right, what do we have to do next? So now we have to put the hat on. Oh, we can remove this. And we're gonna sew it. You could glue it if you want. See, I'm gonna go weave in and out of this to a row that I want to sew the hat on. Let's try that. I want a few rows in, maybe 4. And I'm going to try sewing just around the inside here. And we can leave this part in the back. Oh my gosh, it's getting too big now. Alright, so here I'm just going to sew along the edge. All right, once you get all the way around, I'm gonna find my moment to tie this. Okay, go in one end, out the other. And then we're going to cut this flush. And then just squeeze your project. Alright. And now we just have to situate the hair. This is a lot. This is a lot of hair. Looks like she's wearing a cowboy hat than a witch's hat. Anyway, here we go. All right. Is that it? Yeah. Comment below. Let me know how it went, you guys. Oh, maybe I should have put stuffing in the hat. Oh no. Yeah, it doesn't really say put stuffing in the hat, but I wish I did, because then this would stand up better. Anyway, alright you guys, so here is my Elphaba. Let me know how it went. So cute. And then let me take out Glinda as well. Glinda has messy hair also. All right. Best friends. Okay. So that is it, you guys. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Let me know how it went. I wish they did the nose too. You know, she doesn't have a nose. Well, yeah, let me know how it went. Let me know if you ran out of yarn. On either of them, I ran out of yarn for the hair and I ran out of yarn for the hat. At any rate, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Hooked on Needles and Crafts. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And I am hoping to post this Wednesday night. Thursday, I'm going to do a slew of either filming and posting, if not just filming. I have to do a Thanksgiving pumpkin that I got from Target. And then I'm gonna head back to some other of my old kits. I have a bunch of requests that I have to fulfill, and we're gonna do it. As far as the winter ones go, I don't have them as of yet, so bear with me. If you have them, feel free to send me clear images of the winter kits from Five Below. My info is in my about section or in the description box below. That would probably be easier, but yeah. Alright, so maybe I'll pop in on Thanksgiving and wish you all a Thanksgiving. If not, have a great Thanksgiving. I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.